Mr. Kakaire Wannome from the National Resistance Movement. You're very welcome.
Thank you, Yagenda.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year too. And I wish all those who are viewing us, ladies and gentlemen, the happiest of years, because this is a year that's going to determine our next move for the next 5 years. The 5 years will be determined in the next 2 days. How you use your vote, how you express your opinion, how you show who you want will determine how we are going to finish the 5-year term. So I would appeal to the viewers that let's express our discretion and make sure that we go to vote. By now, I think most of the people have already done their decision, but it's not late. If there are those who are still wavering, to tell you that the only person who is worth telling us what is right, who is worth taking us for the next 5 years, is Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
Okay, Mr. Kakaire Wannome from the National Resistance Movement. I don't know what you do with the party.
I do mobilization.
You do mobilization for the party.
Yes.
And we're just counting hours. Actually, today is the last day of campaigning, and tomorrow is rest day. Then the elections are on Thursday.
Yes.
How much have you done, and what do you think the party has not done? Now, for a party like the National Resistance Movement that has been in power, what do you think you've not done that you actually need to do in between now and maybe Thursday morning?
Basically, what we have been doing is a journey. A journey starts from somewhere and it has a destination. Our journey of development is a journey of segments. Just as I've already said, development is a process. Development is not an event. The foundation we have laid for the last 35 years is now strong enough to propel us ahead. Now, to propel us ahead means that you have two things. You must have leadership, which is astute. You must have the people with you, and you must mobilize those people to harness the resources available. The leadership we've had for the past years has been such that we move together with the people we want to lead. We move together with the little that we have, but which we can harness at the maximum. Development is a set of deliberate actions. Deliberate, take that word, deliberate actions. What you do as a decision determines what you are going to get at the end of the day. But that decision is anchored on the kind of leadership that you have. We've had Yoweri Kaguta Museveni anchoring us in a situation that will propel us in the future. That's why we say situating in the future. Now, there have been challenges, which is normal, because the challenges are a construct of what you have. If you have resources that are not good enough to propel you to where you want, you must be so frugal in such a way that the little that you have, you use it to tell you where and when to apply it. We've had challenges to do with resources. We've had challenges to do with infrastructure. We've had challenges with human resource. But if I may start with human resource, the government or the leadership we've had put in place UPE. It is in one way of addressing human resource. USE as one way of addressing human resource. Vocational training, skilling, all this. Because an educated population is an energized population. Energized in which sense? That they are eager to pick ideas, they are willing to accept innovations, and they are willing to make inventions. Now, the moment you have such a population which is going to create the human resource, then you know that whatever challenges that are going to come, this human resource will be in a position to address such challenges with analysis. Part of the problems that we have could be failure to analyze our situations. An educated population does not have the capacity to analyze situations. And because they don't have that capacity, anybody in leadership or anybody in a higher position can manipulate such a population. Now, what the government or the leadership we've had was to first create that reservoir of personnel that is going to be used, or that the reserve of human resource that's going to be applied in development. Two, when we are talking of infrastructure, infrastructure is a very challenging thing because infrastructure is an enabler. Enabler in a sense that even if you have got a lot of maize in Busoga, a lot of maize in Nakasongola, a lot of matoke in Nyankoro, wherever, you will have it, but it will not reach the Kasero, it will not reach Owino, it will not reach anywhere in the market. So, when you put up a road, it means that you are enabling the other farmer in the village to make sure that the product that is in that village is conveyed to the market. Now, that conveyance has two implications. One, it creates household income for the farmer. The farmer is going to get money, and one of our biggest challenges has been income, family income. So that will be sorted. The second one, the government works on taxes. This is where people fail to get the point. Why does government charge us? Why does government do this? Yes, government charges you because the road that you want, the school that you want, comes from the taxes that you pay. So by opening the road, from a normative point of view, by opening the road, you have created household income for somebody, but also you have created income for the government, because tax is the income for the government. Now, when you come back to look at the fiscal dynamics that are going to be there, how are you going to raise taxes if you don't create the source for taxing, what we call the tax base? So the income, the income that you are going to get from the farmer is going to create the tax base from which you are going to raise the tax as a fiscal tool. Now, we've done that, and we're in progress. Those who have been accusing us of, I listen to some of these political shows, and somebody says, but you are over-borrowing. The truth is we are over-borrowing. But the reality for those who have done banking, banks don't lend to the poor.
So our country is a rich country. So we are a rich country.
We are a rich country potentially. So, and in fact, for all these international institutions, they look at your capacity to pay back.
Mr. Kakaire, first hold it there. I want you to tell me what you have not done. The achievements of the NRM have been listed.
Yes.
In the subsequent manifestos, till the recent manifesto that is here, the manifesto itself and the abridged versions, there are quite a number of things. There is an issue of our social development. That when you have a road from Kampala to Gulu, when you have a road from Kampala to Kisoro, when you have a clean road from Kampala to Lira, anywhere, and border to border, you can drive in Uganda on the road, border to border. You can drive to Kigali, you can drive to Congo, you can drive to Tanzania, you can drive to Kenya, you can drive to anywhere across borders. However, there is a big issue of social development. That when our people grow, age of 60, 65, 70, they become so vulnerable. We have an issue of the young persons today who are dropping out of school even when there is UPE and USE. We have early marriages, we have child mothers, child parents, or whatever that means. And quite a number of those are things that do not even attach value to all these things that we've done. We've got a lot of money, we've pumped a lot of investment into infrastructure, the roads and all the things. But even with the roads, then the lives of the people, this other side. We talk about livelihoods of the people, and now the president is talking about household incomes and stuff like that. How does it feel that, yes, there are these things, there are bridges, there are, we're building all the things, but yet again, the Kakaire one of Buzaya is going without food, is going without this, is going without the basics in life. And of course the voices that you've heard vented from the different, especially the youth. castigating and abusing the establishment after 5 years. The establishment itself is actually much older than many of the young persons that we have here today. The establishment itself is older than a whole presidential candidate, Katumba Oye. So they look at all these, and yes, what haven't you done as the National Resistance Movement that you really think may not be done in the next 5 years, but it will help maybe better the situation, make it better, whatever that is? Because it will be a fallacy to actually say, we did this in 35 years, but we're going to do this in 5 years and undo a summation of what we did in 35 years.
Mr. Jagenda, development is a set of social contradictions. A set of social contradictions in a sense that in order to have an arcade, you must first remove the shack. In order to have Ovino and all those arcades in Ovino, you must first get rid of the slum. In the process of doing that, there are going to be social problems created. Part of the problem, and I agree with you, part of the problem is that the people who are feeling the effect of this development are people who didn't have the basis for income generation, the basis for education, the basis of any business acumen. So all these ones somehow will affect anybody who is not part of the bracket that is creating the income. When you look at what you have said, in fact, the question you said, what is the failure so far? What are the failures we are facing? The truth is, the security bit has not been tackled. Reason being that the aged, mostly these elderly, the senior citizens, didn't have that basis to create investment that is lifelong. Either you were depending on a salary, and when you retire, it becomes a challenge for you. Two, when you talk about the youth, there are several programs that have been put in place to try to uplift the lives of the youth. But the challenge is that when you have youth who are unemployed, you are going to segment them. There are youth who are not employed, but also not employable. You see somebody is not employed, but even if you think of how to employ this person, is not employed, but is not employable.
And of course, it will come still to you.
Yes, it comes to government.
For 35 years, you have educated people who are actually not employable.
The solution is this. We are doing skilling. Having your degree agenda in a particular discipline may be good enough, may be good, but not good enough. Because when it comes to application, you are lacking those skills. So that's why you see there are these programs of skilling Uganda, skilling this. I've been involved in these youth things for maybe 10 years plus. And you see that at one time we had, in the President's office, we had a program called GSP. It was called Job Stimulus Program. Job Stimulus Program. And the intention was to have common user facilities for the youth. Common user, meaning that you look at organized groups and you segment them and you give them something that they can use communally. But the challenges are two in such a setting, which I found because I was the coordinator. One, youth don't want to work together as a cooperative. Two, youth are so short-sighted that I can give you an example. We are dealing with youth, different youth, but I will give you an example that happened in Kasubi. We were giving these long sigiris for chapatis. They were about 20 people and we organized them. The first time we talked to them, we were so hostile. You know, like you are forcing somebody to earn money. You are forcing somebody to get money in his pocket. They said, you give us the money. For us, we don't want it, whatever you are talking about. Common user what? Give us the money. Somehow, we gave them the money the first time. And we gave them a time lag. And we said, after this period, we shall come and see how you are prospered. Again, it was a shock. We got there was not even a single sigiri, not even a single chako. Anywhere. And it was some substantial money. Now we called them back when we came and we did the evaluations and this, we brought them back and we said, now we are going to buy these things. You are 20 people. We are going to buy these things for you, and we are going to give you the money for charcoal. We are going to do this. We are going to give you cartons of wheat and all this. They said yes. You can't believe this. After 2 months, when we went back, out of the 20, there were only 4 people, only youth. The rest had used the force, the money, because they were supposed to get this money. They themselves sat down and gave us a breakdown of how they can save per day. Saving 20,000 per day, when you are 20 people, you know how much that means. 20,000. And they had collected some good money in 2 months. The fight broke up and said, Zempezang. When we went back, we found only 4 people active. The 16 would come in the morning, and what is funny, the shelter which we had made, the other 16 would come and sit there, looking at these 4 working. And at the end of the day, they beg these 4. They don't want to get involved, but they want the money. Now, that mindset of failure to appreciate work, however small it may be, but somebody who can save 20,000, it is not small business. The reality is, if you can spend 20,000, in a month you have got 600,000. I know people who can't get that salary, but they are in offices, they are doing this, they are doing that. So, but somebody will not appreciate that we shall be saving 20,000. Now, what we are doing now, when you talk of the yoga, the circles, it's an attempt to see how do we create this social infrastructure that is going to bring out these unemployed into the employment circles. But still, it is a hard bargain for most people. Now, the person who is energetic at 20, 25, 30, but is not willing to use his energies to get, in order to cushion, to get money in order to cushion the older age, is going to give us a problem, whichever government will be around. If you have somebody who failed to work, not refused, but failed to work at that energetic level, these are the people you are going to find, the one you are referring to, who will be giving. Now, the social security becomes a challenge for any government that will come. My plea would be this, that the youth, basically the youth, because we have got a youth badge, the older are there, and it's unfortunate that if I have my mom is, I think, approaching 80, my father is maybe 90. Those ones we say, that was it. If Kakaire can't give you sugar, you cannot work.
And Kakaire has been educated in this government for 35 years.
And if he cannot bring the sugar to these hereditary parents, then that's a different story. But at least you see that Kakaire is in a position to look after his family and maybe do something. That is the social security we are trying to create. But it is a big challenge, and in fact, if we are to have a scorecard, we may have scored maybe 20%. We have to be realistic. But the problem is that even the others, honestly, the people who are facing it hard are the senior citizens. Now, those senior citizens will be depending on us who are still working. But if us who are still working don't want, I mean in the working bracket, we are not willing to take up whatever job that is there, then to remain a challenge. And that is our challenge, we think, we can address in the next 5 years. The other one about development, the one you talked about, there are roads, there are this, there are this. As I said, schools, roads, dams, Isimba, Ikira, I don't know this, are all enablers of creating a very big social defense, a very big social security in the future. The reasons why some of these things have taken longer than before, somebody appreciated the need to create a dam in order to create power, in order to create a factory, in order the factory to create jobs. That is the spiral. Now, the moment you fail to realize, you know, some of our failures are a result of wrong decisions from the beginning. If from the onset you make a wrong decision, I can give you an example. I've heard you elsewhere talking about your government of Dr. Apolomito Obote. Dr. Apolomito Obote was a typical socialist, I think. This is somebody who would give goodies to the villagers. You want clothes? They bring clothes. You want sugar? They bring sugar. But you are not creating You are not creating the infrastructure that is going to make this person not beg clothes tomorrow, not beg for sugar tomorrow. So it means that the moment you open up the economy and you are allowing these investors, they may be not creating the best of jobs around that you would wish, but staying home without a job is far worse off than going to work with somebody or in somebody's factory and you get 5,000 shillings a day. So some of these achievements are a result of appreciating that we have got a youth badge. The moment you have got a youth badge, these are people who can be fixed, who can be given all sorts of ideas, because for them they are so receptive. They are so receptive. Any idea that comes and it looks cozy to them, they will be enrolled.
Mr. Kakaire Wanume, of course we have only tomorrow,
yes,
and on Thursday Ugandans will get to the polls to again vote for the next government.
Yes.
That will be here from May until May 2026. That will be another government, and we pray that God will keep us alive and safe until the time, and on and on. What don't you think this government has done that they still need need to do? What haven't they done? Because it's okay. I normally do not want to remind people that look at that bridge, look at that road, look at that hospital, look at and you're talking to the people in the communities. Now, if they do not go to that hospital, it doesn't mean the hospital is not there. If they don't take their children to that school, it doesn't mean that the school is not there. If you come from Busoga yourself, now I don't know whether when you drove from Kamuli, I don't know where you actually passed, whether through Isimba or whatever. But even then, there is a bridge now that crosses to Kayunga.
It takes me 1 hour to.
It takes you 1 hour to Kamuli now. If you choose to go through Jinja, then you go through the Nile, the new bridge. But if you need to remind somebody that there is a bridge actually at the Nile, it becomes different. What don't you think, rather, what do you think that your government has not done that they need to do? And maybe the other thing that you also addressed me on is the preparations themselves. You are a mobilizer. Do you have the vote there? What do you think? What is happening and in the next few hours?
Our biggest challenge, and which I think we need to be given 5 years in order to address it, is to tell Ugandans to appreciate what has been put in place, the infrastructure that has been put in place, take advantage of that infrastructure, create an income, create a business, create a job out of the infrastructure created. People don't appreciate a road. People don't appreciate a bridge. For me to go to Kamuli, I need 2 hours. Now it has been cut by half. How do I use the extra hour that I've saved? That should be the role of government. Tell them, but please don't look at a hospital as a building. Look at a hospital as a facility that is going to help you. I've seen situations where people say that this hospital is so nice, but there are no drugs. This hospital, the truth is the drugs are there, but not enough. That's the truth. It is our duty, as people who have been in leadership for this long, and who are seeking the mandate of Ugandans to lead them for the next 5 years, to tell them that don't look at an infrastructure as a building, as a road, as a school. Enroll in that school. If it is a vocational institution, go and get skills from that vocation school. If we are talking about circles, enroll in a circle. I mean, be part of that circle. If you are talking about Myoga, but you find there are people who are not willing to work as a group in Myoga, in the circles. But nobody is going to bring money in your home and say, please, Mr. Jagenda, 1,000 shillings is here. Part of the thing is that let's inculcate the culture of working together. Cooperatives. It is our role to tell people, please, you cannot succeed alone. In these next 5 years, our duty should be to tell the population of Uganda, appreciate what is in place, take advantage of what has been put in your locality, and take advantage of that thing to better your life. All the programs that have been there have been focusing on household income. By the way, if we have our household income right, we reduce our problems by half.
Can we achieve that?
This is what I'm saying. If we tried to get our household incomes right, you can earn at least 2,000 a day if you are at the lowest ebb. you can get something. You don't need to fight malaria by keeping home when you cannot even buy Panadol. The moment you see that you are in position to save some money, I'm telling you, Mr. Jagenda, the household income can sort out so many problems. These are the things of, I don't know, the schools, the quality of education, those will be tackled with time. I've always said that Rome was not built in one day, nor was it built on the last day. So if we know that Rome was not built in one day, let's try to take those steps, deliberate steps, towards creating an enabling environment that's going to bring us income. I'm telling you, part of the problem, in fact the biggest problem, is to find somebody who is energetic asking you for 1,000 shillings to eat. What does that mean? He doesn't have a source of income. So I'm appealing to Ugandans, join Myoga, join SACCOs, join OWC, NADS, I don't know, all those other things that can put you together, that can bring you together, to harness the benefits as a group. The more you are together and you are cohesive, the more the benefits that accrue to that cohesiveness. Why? You will have varying abilities. People are not endowed homogeneously. Now, you are better in accounts, I'm better in marketing, I'm better in this, I'm better in that. That cohesion creates a pool, a reservoir of people who can think collectively. But you are a lone player, you don't want people to know what you are doing. So our next 5 years will be directed towards social security through income generation.
What do you think your performance is going to be this time round? Looking at the general elections themselves, from president to members of parliament, for the election that we're going to go to on Thursday, what do you think is going to be your overall performance? Are you increasing on the number of legislators? Are you decreasing on those? Are you losing some, or you're consolidating and maintaining those as a mobilizer from what you've seen and assessing the ground, because it's the final lap?
Mr. Jagenda, I'm an unelected NRM supporter. So happy so far. What are the indicators of my happiness? If you talk about parliament, we already have 13 unopposed. What does that tell you? If you talk of the numbers, I know parties that are claiming to be strong, but out of 146 women MPs, they have only afforded 44. One out of 146. Now,
and chances are that all the 44 will come.
The chances are minimal and even maybe negative. You know, there is a segment in our electoral system that you cannot beat. It is very hard for somebody to challenge NRM on a women vote. It's very hard. I'm not saying it is impossible, but it's very hard. So you may find that even the 44 they have brought as women MPs, they will be lucky to get 2 or 3. When you come
out of the 40,
out of 146,
not of the 40,
out of the 40, they may get 1 or 2, maybe. And I'm saying maybe, because even the odds are not on their side. If you have 506 MPs, and you have managed to bring 178 MPs, the male, the direct, how are you going to beat NRM?
How many did you fail?
All the constituencies. 506. All of them. If you look at the youth and you look at the youth council elections, 80%. We did that. So basically, I have trust in Ugandans that they will, and here where I appeal to them, that please look at the NRM as a vehicle that's going to propel you to higher heights. All these people who are already unopposed, or those who are coming in to contest with others as a formality. In fact, Mr. Jagenda, the biggest opponent of NRM are independents who are actually NRM leaning. Out there. Not these other things, these riffraff I'm seeing around. The truth is the biggest challenge of NRM is NRM independence. So basically, what do you have? We may have a landslide of 70%
in Parliament.
In Parliament.
There's one from, for you here from Zaiton Ejofrawana, and he's talking about your mindset issue of the cigarette that you talked about, and he says there's a difference between changing mindset and getting the people to start thinking. One Sigiri project youth were mindless, so mindset change would not actually work. That's what one has actually.
That philosopher, sometimes whenever he talks, I just get amazed and get confused. That's the truth.
You need to get people to start thinking.
The truth is people should start thinking. There are people who are, I think they are impervious to knowledge or something like that. They don't see the reason why they should think beyond what they see.
Okay, they're telling people they'll be beaten when they go to vote, there will be all the things and stuff like that. And are you happy about the entire process, which to so many people say it's not been a fair process, it's not been free and fair, it's been lots of things. You're the only ones campaigning, doing all the things. Will you be happy about the result at the end of the day to actually say, yes, here is where we are, we have honorably won this election?
You see, I've had that question, I don't know, a million times. Anyone who is planning to cause confusion, chaos, will be handled by relevant authorities. The security chiefs stated it categorically. Come with your confusion, you will meet the consequences. But even then, the process of looking for votes was clearly stated by EC. Clearly. These are the rules, you are going to go to play this game, these are the rules, and EC, I'm the umpire. I'll look at what's going on. Chambogo, before even you leave Chambogo, you say, to hell. You are telling me to come with 10 people, I will come with 1,000. That is the spirit of defiance. You carry the spirit of defiance all through up to the last day of voting, because I've had people who are saying that if they don't announce us, then hell will break rules. Why did you come to this confusion if you thought it was confusion? It is better for an autocrat. You come and if you don't want democracy, just carry out a coup. Carry out a coup. You lead by decree, and you make sure that nobody will touch you, because you say, you know, during those days of Northcote, we either win or they lose. That kind of psyche, it does not fit in the democratic definition. It doesn't. So it means that when you are there and you took part in an election, you must accept the outcome. If you feel offended, if you feel that it has not been fair, free and fair, by the way, we've never had an election which is free and excellent. But if you feel it was not free and fair, go to the courts. It's where you seek redress. Otherwise, when you are threatening people that come what may, they must announce us, then it means you are not a democrat. The other thing is this threatening of people that, you know, you people, we know, because I've seen on social media, people talking over, I don't know, pennies that raise, the ticks, people talk over, I don't know this. Nobody is going to do that. But you know, the people who are throwing around this kind of mantra and threatening others are the ones beating war drums. But their families have run into safety. The families of those who are drumming up these war calls are people who have already set their families into safe havens. Now, for you, the poor boy on the street, in some slum, in some... somebody who is in his comfort zone is telling you to come and fight. Certainly, you will face the consequences. So, in my view, Ugandans, I would appeal to Ugandans, wake up on that day. Don't ignore the noises. I know the noises will always be there. Ignore the noises. Go to the polling station, cast your vote, go home, and remain silent. Bebe Cool has always told us the silent majority. The silent majority, you know what to do. You don't need to shout at, to throw stones at every barking dog. you will not reach the polling station. You will not. Leave every dog that is barking, carry your empty hands, don't carry stones. Because if every dog barks and you stop to throw stones, you will get to the polling station when their voting is over. Just ignore, move to the polling station, do what is necessary, go back home.
Okay.
The other things, you vote in mind with one thing. You are voting a leadership that appreciates you. You are voting a leadership that appreciates your welfare. You are voting a leadership that is looking for your social security in the years to come. Because what we are putting up together now as a government or as a leadership may not give the benefits tomorrow. But in the next 10, 20 years, you may realize that your social security or your life is dependent on what was done some 15 years ago. That school, that road, that industry, now if you are going to ban it because you have lost, which after all you will lose. Why am I saying this? You've had NRM people telling you, if you have 30 people per village, do your mathematics. Even if you don't get the 30, all of them, take 20. Somebody is already having a jump start. For you, you are starting from the scratch. That alone should show you, if you are the person who does analysis, should show you that, am I starting from the same point like the other person?
Okay.
2, all these other confusions that you've seen during this campaign trail were a result of failure to have structures. The failure to have structures that can propel your idea to the machinery, to the grassroots. Now, when it comes to a point where you cannot, they tell you bring 200 people in a tent. What is the composition of the 200? This should be your kakuyege. The 200 that just Byabagamba told us should be your ambassadors that are going to carry your message to. Now, the moment you fail to have those 200, because you don't have the structures, the only thing you can do is to jump on top of the rooftop of your car, and create an imaginary illusion that you are strong. You move from street to street because you don't have somebody. But if the best and most effective way of campaigning is kakuyege, put Jagena in a tent, tell them, please go and tell your village ABCD, and you will know that this person is going to do the footwork to the villages.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Mr. Kakaire.
I have one thing.
One more request to make.
Yes, I have one request
in just 1 minute.
In a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, the viewers, those who are going to elect the next leadership, I plead with you to elect for me and the rest of Ugandans with the same kind of thinking, to elect for me Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. When you get your ballot, is the person who is carrying all the others is down. We call him our Kanyama. Kanyama is carrying the rest. The others are dependent on his shoulders. So I would beg that please vote for Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Vote for the bus wherever you are. Tick the bus, even if you tick the bus, because we don't want to have a hunger parliament. It will be a shaming to have Yoweri Kaguta Museveni get 80% and you have got a parliament that is opposing him. I beg you, I beseech you that please on Thursday vote Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and the bus. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Kaire Wandume. We'll stop it here, and in the next hour, we'll be joined by Halima Namakula, who is also seeking for election as a woman. I beg your pardon. She's also seeking for that election to represent the elderly people in Parliament, representing the elder people in a central region. She'll be joining us shortly from here. Thank you so much, Mr. Kaire Wandume.
Thank you.
We thank you so much, and when we return, we'll have Halima Namakula in studios. Good morning. Thank you.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra. Uganda Decides 2021.
Okusokera ddala nebaza President Museveni olwo n'enkola gye yassaawo ey'emyoga nti tuyambye nga ffe abavubuka okutereka n'okusevinga